Hello and welcome back to the flat. It is late December, it's past Christmas. I've come down to do a few maintenance jobs. First one today is going to be handles on the windows. So I needed to get different handles with lock-in mechanisms for my insurance. So I'm going to replace all the handles on the windows. As you can see, these ones don't have locks on them. So I just need to replace those, take them off. These are called, I've learned this, cockspur handles. They've just got a spur off the handle, screws to the frame, comes down, locks in place, and there's a button to open up. So I'm just going to replace those. Right, back of the handle, on the back of the spur, because there will be differing spaces between the handle fitting and the window, come with little spacers. So you can add a little spacer on there so that when it's attached, it sits at the right angle and it doesn't rattle. So I'm just going to attach those on. And I should be able to screw it back onto the frame. There you go. And that is locked in place. Gosh. That one's done, and another 5 to do. Now this one doesn't have a panel on the bottom, on the pads, so I've got some replacements for those. Putting that pad in will then pull the window closer and tighter, better seal. So I've got a bag of replacement pads, and they come in different thicknesses. You see different thicknesses, so we can put those on there and get the best seal we can for the tightness of the window. So on this one, I don't think there's a need to put a spacer on the back, but I've got a very thin pad there. So if I change that for a slightly thicker pad, that should act as the spacer and draw the window in slightly better. Okay, so I fitted those on. So like the way the window doesn't quite shut, there's a bit of a breeze there. So now I've fitted those, fits better, fits closer, not so much of a breeze. And yet again, that one, hardly any movement. Pleased with that. That one's very tight, couldn't get it to break. Do that one by hand. That one's got a little bit of movement, so I'll put a bigger pad in there to hold that on better. These ones have been slightly misaligned, so I'm just lining them up better. Again, that's got a bit of play, so I'm going to go for a thicker pad on the bottom. Okay, this one's got ever so slightly gap there. You see that gap? So I'm going to put the packer on the back and go with the thinner one now. This one seems to be ever so slightly, but I'll get a bit of padding on the back around the window. That'll stop that. I might do it on that one. So I've got some weather seal. So I'll open that up, put a bit of wrap around the window, see if that just give us that extra bit of sponge to make the gap. That just self-adhesive to the back of the window frame, give us a bit more cushion. Self-adhesive along there, and when we pull it, there's a gap, so when we pull it tight, it closes the gap and there's less pull. There's no gap now. Get an extra bit of seal down that edge. What it does is creates a bit of a gap up there, so I'm going to put a bit more up here and up there just to keep that seal, stop the wind coming through. There we go. There we go. Now I've got a seal down there, through here, all along the bottom, all up that side. It stops the draft coming through. Those are nice and tight. Nice and tight and locking. Another window done. Okay, next is the toilet. This one's got a lock on it already, but I don't really like that. I'm going to take that off. Go for a locking handle. Looks a lot neater. Okay. So this one I've gone for a thin pad because if I put the spacer behind here, then it'll give me a tight fit. Now I've got a spacer on, got the small pad. Now I'm tight on the window. There's a bit of a gap. I wonder if that will come any closer. I might have to change this for a slightly thicker one. I'll put the handle on and we'll see where we go. As it happens, with the spacer in, it makes it just that much too tight. So I'm going to leave that off and just remain with the spacer. It doesn't look great, but I think it's the best tight I'm going to get, otherwise it's going to be too much hassle to try and close the window. Okay, this is the last one. That's slightly different because this one goes through with a pin and locks in the window itself. So this was the simplest of the lot. I simply unscrewed this one, took it out, put the new one in, it lined up exactly, put the screws in, covered with a cap. Bosh, done. Now I've got a nice locking handle with a key. Doesn't open. Opens, locked, doesn't open. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to put some draft excluder tape around the outside of the door frame. That will help stop any draft coming through the frame itself. And then we've got to put some extruder on the bottom of to stop the draft coming underneath. Okay, so we put the draft excluder foam all the way around, but in this side it was too much. It's far too much to handle and it jammed the door from shutting. So I've taken that edge out, that's gone. This edge and this one remains. And whilst the door is a little bit stiff, it does shut. And now it's tighter and we've got the extruder foam all the way around to keep it locked. Job done. Okay, so we're in the bathroom and this bathroom door is sticking. It won't shut properly without force, which is not meant to happen. And I think it's because this lock piece is sitting proud of the door. It's sat flush onto the door, not recessed. It should be recessed slightly, so we're going to have a go at that. Okay, so we'll take the plate off. I'll screw around the outside with a knife first. Stops the Okay, screw around the outside so the wood shouldn't split when I start poking it. Get a sharp chisel, start having a go at that. Take some of the wood out, recess it slightly. Okay, so I've cut that out. A little bit of break out the back. I'm not too worried about that. So I've cut it down. So now it's slightly recessed. You can see recessed below that line. So once the plate goes in, it should stop the stick. Now you can see the plate sits flush to the door frame. Sits flush to the door frame, or even slightly below by millimetres, or a millimetre if it. So I'll screw that back in and we'll try the door. Okay, that's in. Let's give it a try. Now when I shut it, you give it a little push just to click the thing in, but no stick. No stick now. All fixed. Okay, so I'm back at the front door, and at the bottom there's a real big draft going through. So I've been out, bought myself a draft excluder, which I'm going to cut to size, and a draft excluder, which can just sit against the door. Great, so I've measured it. I'm going to cut this one now into size so I can fit it to the bottom of the door. And as it would happen, I've not got hacksaw, I've got a blade, so I'm going to do it with a blade. first. That's cut. Now it's got a self-adhesive strip on the back which I can use to put it in place, and then I've got some screws to go through the bezel into the door. There we go, we fitted that to the bottom of the door. That looks better. Now we're going to just finish it off with the other job done. Right, another quick job today is to hang this picture on the wall. So got battens affixed to the back. I've drilled holes in here to accommodate the screws I'm going to put in the wall to hang from. In the other room, I've measured the distance between the two holes, put raw plugs in, made sure that they're level, put some screws in, now to hang it up. I think that is it. Almost. I think I'm going to bring the screws out slightly. Just bring the screws out slightly so they're long enough to fit in the holes. That feels like it. Yep. This one. Yeah, there we go. There we go, Gabby's bit of A-level artwork of a square in Catania, Sicily. So while I've been working today, I've realised that this door in the bathroom, well, I've fixed that, doesn't have a door stop. So the handle can and does tap against the tile. I don't want that tile to break. So I've been out, bought a door stop. So I'm just going to attach that to the wall down there, stop the door from hitting the tile and preventing the handle from cracking against the tiles. Here we go. Job done. That fits. That's good, and that doesn't hit the wall. Brilliant. Another job done.